Hi guys, I'm here to tell you some good news that there's a nice new sefer, a nice new book, Hebrew book over here. Rabbi Freifeld speaks, the dynamic teachings of an inspirational Rebbe, and he's got some very inspirational things to say. And let's look at a couple of things he says. Let's see. One of the things I saw here in the book, he says that avoda means service, word literally. It means serving Hashem, serving God. Doesn't have to be only learning and davening, praying. It can also be talking nicely to one's fellow man, to one's people that you deal with every day. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let me find something I saw that was nice. He shows different occurrences that happened in his life, which show that even nicely talking to somebody, you can really help that person. You can give that person a lift, which is a very inspirational thing, which is very precious to Hashem. Let's see, here, this is what I was looking for. More than just talk. Conversation, talking to other people is also an avoda, also serving God, just like making shoes. Oh yeah, we talked about a certain Tana, Rabbi Yochanan HaSandler. The great Tana was a shoemaker by trade. He made shoes for a living. It is said that he was meyached yechudim while he was stitching shoes. The Miyached Yechudim means this was an avoda of some sort whereby he directed special thoughts to the Almighty while he was doing his mundane work. What were these special thoughts? Rabbi Yisrael Salanter suggests that his thoughts were to make an excellent shoe so that its customers should get their full money's worth and the best use of the shoe for the longest time. If it was his lot in life to make shoes, at least let them be good shoes. This was his avoda, to be meyached yechudim. Why? Because it emulated the life-giving attributes of the Almighty and thereby recognized and acknowledged the divine presence in this world. Now let's read from this. More than just talk. Conversation, talking to other people, is also an avoda, is also serving Hashem, serving God, just like making shoes. We look at it as just talking. We look at it as just talking, but it's much more, or at least it could be. A young man who is in computers, a Talmud Chacham, that means a Torah scholar, told me an interesting insight about working with non-Jews and non-observant Jews. I asked him if they respected him for being a religious Jew, and he said, only in one area. They don't use obscene and foul language in my presence, and if they forget to do it, they apologize. Incredible. Human beings are created with a Tselem Elokim, in the image of the Almighty, but the corrosive disease of obscene language withers it away until there is nothing left. We all know that this kind of language penetrates every corner of society, from the lowest to the highest. It's a way of life. And yet, this young Talmud Chacham radiated such holiness. This young Talmud Chacham radiated such holiness that people felt they should be more refined in his presence. In his small sphere of influence, he succeeded in purifying and elevating the speech patterns of those around him. This is called avoda. This is called binyan olam, building up the world. I once went to take some tests. He took some medical tests. There were two doctors involved, and I was in a machine. One doctor wore a yarmulke, which led me to assume he was a religious Jew. The other didn't. I was nervous, so I asked the first doctor a question. It was not an important question, not a significant question, but rather a way of expressing my anxiety, as if to say, I'm worried and I need some encouragement. The doctor didn't even bother to reply. He just turned on his heel and left. The other doctor smiled at me every few minutes and said in a delicate, gentle voice, how are you doing? Are you all right? I sensed there was more to a solicitude than mere niceness. So, quote, yes, I'm fine. Baruch Hashem, I said. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem means blessed be God. Thank God. Baruch Hashem, he said, with a sigh of relief. It turns out he was a religious Jew, a Ben Torah. A ben Torah means the son of Torah, somebody that does things the way the Torah would want. He understood that a person can be mechaya someone. Mechaya means to give life to somebody. He can actually give a breath of life into another person just by the way he talks to him. The doctor with the yarmulke, whom I knew, did not grow up with much contact with Talmidei Chachamim. He had never been taught that a person can sustain life, bring out life, emphasize life without medical instruments and pills. Pleasant conversation, sicha noah, holds tremendous power. Pleasant conversation. If you speak to others with kindness and compassion, you can literally revive and sustain them. You can give them life. You can become a bonei olam, a builder of the world, and for that you deserve to be rewarded. A stranger walks into the Beis Medrash, and you go over and say, Shalom Aleichem. You greet him, and you say, Shalom Aleichem. With these two simple words, you've transformed him. In effect, you've told him, you're somebody important. You count. I recognize your worth, and I acknowledge it. That is pleasant conversation. That gives life. That revives. That sustains. That deserves a great reward. Last week, I went to the dentist. The office was one flight up, and the stairs had a railing only on the right side. Naturally, I started up the stairs on the right side, where I could hold on to the railing. Then I saw an old Jewish woman coming down the stairs, and I moved to the left side, giving her the railing. As she passed me, she said in Yiddish, we should both have a good Yom Tov and a good year. This woman was not religious, but she had a Jewish background and Jewish sensibility. She instinctively greeted me with words that gave me a warm feeling, a fresh breath of life. That was pleasant conversation. That was the way a Jewish person should speak. So you see, Rabbi Freifeld takes from incidents that happened in his life, and he shows you how that this thing that one can be mechaya somebody, how somebody can give person some extra life, he can encourage that person. And I thought this is a very worthwhile book, and thought I'd bring this to your attention. And let's see, we have other things here. We have a book on poems, a book on Jewish poems I'd like to show you. That can be for another time. And so thanks a lot for tuning in, and we hope to have other things for you soon.